Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supernatural. This time we're on season 15, episode 15, titled Give Me Shelter. Last time we had Last Holiday. It was the return of Supernatural for its final 7 episodes following the COVID halt. But we returned for the final 7 episodes, and Last Holiday, it was a lighter return. It was a much lighter return to the season, and it definitely, I think it didn't really feel like. It felt like we were somewhat picking up where we left off and not starting like a whole new thing. Like it did like they promoted it as like a return to the season, like the final 7 episodes, not like a oh, this is going to be season 16 and stuff like that, like just splitting up into 2 pieces like some shows are doing. But it definitely felt like a little pick me up and like a refresher as to what was going on, and like a brighter return, like a more heartfelt return to the show before things actually get serious and darker again because of what's happening. But we met Mrs. Butters. Mrs. Butters was actually a wood nymph, that had been living in the bunker, recruited by the Men of Letters back in World War II. And she helped them defeat a couple of Thulls, and some Thulls had actually, massacred her home in the woods and stuff. So she had been taken in by the Men of Letters in exchange for servitude and all that good stuff. So she was awakened by Dean when he reset the bunker's power and everything. She was awakened. She came out of the warding, and she was basically a mystical. She was basically Mary Poppins. She was pretty much reminiscent of Mary Poppins, and she gave them home cooked meals and gifts, and she allowed them to relive a bunch of different vacations and holidays in the space of what felt like a week. Like she gave them Thanksgiving, she gave them Christmas, she gave them Halloween, and given the flags and the balloons, what I can only assume was American Independence Day, and all these different things. So she, at first she seemed like a really caring, sweet, lovely old lady. But then after she met Jack and found out what he was, like that he was an Nephilim and the son of Lucifer and all that sort of stuff, she actually went a little bit darker and plotted to kill him to keep the bunker safe, and even tried to draw Sam and Dean into that same mindset. So she was soft and cuddly on the outside, and then dark and murderous on the inside. So not the greatest combination for a fairy godmother, but more like a Mary Poppins. But either way, she was still somewhat cool. But we had all that stuff, and then Jack himself kind of worked to redeem himself a little bit more, especially after he'd just gotten his soul back. Everything, all the stuff he'd done, all the stuff that happened actually just hit him like a truck and everything. So he was still kind of working to process everything that happened, and then Dean kind of, gave him his own little speech that, he might be able to forgive him, but he can't really forget everything that he's done and everything that's happened. So it's going to be a work in progress. But, I think at this point, I think, coming up closer to not only the series finale, but also coming up to the end of this story, like facing God, like Jack has to be ready mentally and physically to actually take on God and Amara's power. So, I think it doesn't really help if he's if he still feels like he's living with people that don't fully trust him or can't really move on and might deep down still hold some kind of grudge. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how it develops and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a simple episode. It was a fairly simple episode, fairly simple return. So I think from here on out, we should actually see things actually amping up and seeing things develop a little bit more. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from the last one. So I think going forward, we have to find Cass. Cass is out there looking for Amara, using angel contacts to look for Amara. They have to find Amara and actually talk to her and see what she says about this whole thing. Because I think he has to take over her as well. I think, yeah, if he takes out God's power, he has to take out her power, have a nice little balance and stuff too. So yeah, I don't know how she's gonna feel about being taken out by her by her grandchild. I think it would still be somewhat. I think maybe, yeah, because I mean, Lucifer is the son of God, but I mean, well, no, her grandnephew, yeah, her grandnephew, better, because I think, yeah, because I think it's not her child, it's her brother's son's son, so he's God's son, grandson, even, and then yeah, so her grandnephew, so yeah, being taken out by her grandnephew, we have to see how she feels about that, but either way, only one way to find out, so that is pretty much all I've got from episode 14. So episode 15, Gimme Shelter. This will be the highlight reel, as always. So if you guys want the full-length reaction to watch along to, you can catch that one over at Patreon. So, yeah, that is it. So episode 15. Let's go.
Be with compassion on this one.
Are they angels? I get angel vibes from them. Like, yeah, angels running a community center. Yeah, that seems like it could be something that could actually happen. Yeah. Oh, there's some sweet kicks. Sweet kicks. A teddy bear. It's not the suicidal one from a... Oh, damn, no. Oh, what's this? Who the hell was Connor? Why did someone want to kill Connor?
Camelot Palace Casino, they're putting up the biggest Keno jackpot.
Ah, yeah, she loves Keno.
How's
Amara.
Chuck said Amara loves Keno.
I thought he was kidding.
He's not that funny.
You think Amara...
Amara is dangerous. You can't just charge in.
We're not, okay? Plus, you know, she and I used to have a thing, so.
You mean a
Sam,
very,
what's
very
this case
minor
about?
thing. A very minor thing.
Uh,
Oh, I
Great,
thought that was
you
Donna
found
for a
it.
second. I was about to get so
Who did I
happy.
talk to on the phone?
Agent Swift.
Agent Swift.
This is
He's a
Agent Lovato,
Swifty.
FBI.
Oh, Agent Lovato. Swifty and a
Long
Lovato.
Lovato?
Yeah.
Look greener than Baby Yoda.
He's a
Someone wrote the word liar on his body. Sort of
Liar.
carved it in.
I see.
Whoever did
Ritualistic.
this worked him over good. Cut off each finger one by one.
Ritualistic.
Shoved
Oh.
it down his throat.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely
And we
ritualistic.
found this.
The teddy
Marvel's
bear.
Marvin, the talking teddy. I have one for my stepson, Ronald.
Right.
It says I need a parent or guardian's permission to join.
You have my permission.
I have his permission.
Sorry, lads. Shop's closed.
Oh,
No
a
more deals.
Brit. A Brit. Not
We don't
Crowley,
want to make a
though.
deal.
Jeez. Crowley is the only British demon
So-
I'll ever accept.
How can Zack be of service?
Zack.
Why is he talking like that?
But like, look at me, a crossroads demon who can't bring in a deal. Like, what even am I?
You're a deviant soul corrupted by hell.
Well, yeah, yes. But I mean more in like a work-life balance sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Is she stealing the donations? She's stealing the donations. Oh, whoever you are, you're giving redheads a bad name. She redhead, yeah? I think she's, yeah. You're giving redheads a bad name. Oh. Oh, she's doing the same thing, the same voice calling up to her name.
Have Jack drink the Kool-Aid and sign up. You go in flashing a badge.
Ah.
Okay,
So have him
I
infiltrate the place.
We knew there was gonna be a catch. At least this time it's not you and me.
Yeah, no more soul bombs this time. Jack's about to drink the
to see you again.
Kool-Aid.
Where can I find the Kool-Aid?
Oh my god.
What? I'm sorry. I mean, I want to join. To help. My name's Jack.
Oh my god. I can't believe you actually said that. Where can I find the Kool-Aid? Totally want to jump in your religious codes. Oh, this is how they do the finger chop. This is how they do the finger chopping. Yeah. There's like screws and they screw the guillotine down. Oh, that is intricate. That is intricate. Greed. Oh, the 7 deadly sins. Is that it? Greed, pride, wrath. Oh, greed, because she took the money. She took the money. Hers is greed. Thief. Thief, 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 thief. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's one finger gone. That's one finger gone.
Connor and I, we
Oh, they were together.
dated years ago. More like we watched a lot of old movies together.
Hey, that still counts.
We were kids.
The pastor is your father.
He's a better preacher than he is a
Oh,
dad,
she's
but
actually
yeah.
his daughter. Okay, so this is a family business.
Well, I have more dads than most, and
He has
always
3
just
whole
feel
dads.
Like
Now, as long as people are willing to help as much as they can, all faiths and backgrounds are welcome.
What do you mean by backgrounds?
Connor didn't have to live in fear of who he was. A gay man who believed in a tolerant God.
I imagine not everyone was happy with the change.
So that's why he broke up with
By a mile.
the other girl. Okay.
But it doesn't matter.
So his
Saint
one would have
is a
been
sinner
pride.
Who keeps track.
I think we can do better than that.
Amara! Hey,
Yeah,
girl! How you doing?
Miss me?
Oh, she looks great. Yeah, love the pink
we
suit.
were headed to you.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, the next one goes down. The next one goes down, yeah. Time is running out. For what? What does she need to do?
And then, of course, when it all came crashing down, I found myself lost. I didn't know what my purpose was anymore. And then one day something changed, something amazing. I guess I found a family. And I became a father. And in that, I rediscovered my faith.
People.
I always say people are God's hands. Each of us, a finger for him to use, to lift each other up.
It doesn't help that someone's out there chopping off fingers, so, yeah. It could be the old AV guy, the guy that left, the guy that didn't believe in this. Oh, damn. Oh, a countdown. A countdown. Oh. Oh, damn.
Who could have done this?
The AV dude.
I don't know.
The AV guy.
I do.
The old AV dude. He was in charge of that kind of stuff, yeah. And he left to follow a different religion or faith or whatever.
We want to take your brother.
So he wants revenge.
Then we need your
But
help.
why?
Chuck and I were twins. Creation and destruction.
Balance.
Light and dark.
So she's
Balance.
aware of that. She knows that if he gets taken
And when
out,
we split
she needs
apart,
to get taken out. Yeah.
All this was created.
The Big Bang?
Oh.
When you
Huh.
split, so when...
Oh, jeez. Did he try and break open the door? Yeah, you could just kick it down, right?
Rudy left
Instead
the
of just
congregation.
barging it with your shoulder. Lust. Oh, that one has been there for a while. That one has been there for a good while. Who's that?
He's been dead a long time.
I wanted you to see that your mother was just a person. The myth you'd held on to for so long of a better life, a life where she'd lived, was just that. A myth. I thought having her back would release you. But that fire out. Your anger. But I guess we both know I failed at that.
You're damn right.
Oh, damn. Oh, he went from sorrow to anger that quickly.
But I posted something about it, and my feed is going bananas.
Why did you post
So many
about
frowny
it?
faces.
Oh!
You never did.
Excuse-moi?
You're just a scared little boy trying to make your daddies happy.
No, if that was true, then he would bleed from that. No, yeah, you see that glow? He ain't no boy. Well, he is a boy, but he's not a normal boy. He's an angelic boy. There we go.
Sleep.
Okay, sleep. Okay. Can you heal her? There we go. There we go. Does that still work? Is the blade not still down? Okay. No, she has her fingers back. Okay, new fingers. Oh, it's him! The demon guy!
She needs.
The demon dude, the crossroads
Take yourself
demon.
from the
He's the
place.
police.
I'm gonna die.
What?
Billy's spell's been turning me into some kind of bomb, and when I go off, God
No.
and Amara will cease to exist.
She's turning him into a bomb too?
Don't tell Sam and Dean.
Oh,
Oh yeah, why not?
Christ.
They won't understand.
No.
I know.
No. No.
This is the only way they'll ever forgive me. It's not your choice.
No, Jack, come on. There are other ways to do this. There has to be other ways to do this. Turning him into a bomb is not the answer. Come on. Turning him into a bomb isn't the answer.
In case something goes wrong, and I don't make it back, there's something you and Sam you need to know.
Oh, jeez. Now Cass is going his own way too. What is with this? Oh, Jim. God damn it. Okay. I did not like that ending one bit. Not one bit. So, yeah, okay, so that ending, so Billy is turning Jack into a bomb. Billy is turning Jack into a bomb full of power that is gonna be capable of wiping out both Chuck and Amara. See, I don't know what it is with this show and turning its characters into freaking bombs that end up blowing people up, or end up taking other people out. I don't know what, because I think back I think 11 it was, season 11, we had, we had Rowena, just pumping Dean full of souls and turning him into a bomb capable of taking out Amara, but then he actually managed to do a U-turn on it and actually reunite Chuck and Amara and do all that sort of stuff. So now Billy is taking a page out of Rowena's book, and she is turning Jack into a bomb, and that is going to be the way. So I mean, so does he have a choice? Like, did he have a like I think because he said it wasn't his choice, it wasn't Cass's choice, and also the way he sees it, he thinks that this is the only way Sam and Dean will ever forgive him. But then, did he have a say in this? Like, did she present it to him as one of the options or something? And then he's like, oh, okay, I don't know if it went that way, but I think she explained it to him that this is the only way. But then he himself, like, him being aware of the situation with Sam and Dean, he quickly used that as a way to accept it. Like, okay, if I die saving the world in a way that they can live on in a world free from Chuck and Amara's manipulation, or namely Chuck's manipulation, then that will make it all worth it. So he, because of what he's done, he feels like, him literally dying to save them is the only way they'll ever forgive him, for what's happened. So yeah, so he's still hung up on them on the Mary thing. He's very much still hung up on the Mary thing. But yeah, and now Cass at the end, he's going his own way. He's trying to find another way, and I think that ending, he's definitely going to explain what's going to happen. He said, if I don't make it back, then there's something you and Sam need to know. So he's going to tell Sam and Dean that, this is what Billy's doing, and this is what Jack's decided. So yeah, you know what? The way this is all going, I'm pretty damn confident that the Empty will never come to take Cass. The Empty made a deal with Cass that only once he's ever truly happy, once he's truly joyful and his heart is all warm and giddy, only then will it rise from its decrepit domain and, snatch up Cass. So at this point, there's no possible way for Cass to be happy. There is no way for Cass to be happy, so there's no reason for the Empty to ever rise up and take him. So I guess that's like the one plus. That's the one benefit. We won't ever lose Cass because he'll never be happy. So yeah. But yeah, no, damn. Okay, so that kind of stuff, I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't feel good about it. But I think Jack is. Jack is still holding on to this fact that I think he I mean, last episode, Dean said that, like, forgiving him was easier than forgetting what he had done. Forgiving him was something that they were still kind of working through, what he did, like, but, forgetting what he had done was next to impossible. That was the issue. That they couldn't forget what he did because, it wasn't just a matter of what he did, but it was who he did it to. It was someone very, very close to them, someone who was literally brought back for them to be happy with her and stuff. So, that kind of stuff was what raised the main issue at hand. So yeah, but Jack, I mean, he kind of sees that they have a sorrow in them that he feels every time he thinks about his mother. So, and that was one of the first things he actually addressed when he first got his soul back to, why, I lost my own mother, so why couldn't I feel the pain that you guys felt? Like, why could I not understand the pain you guys felt when you lost yours? So he, now he feels that now with his soul being back, he feels it all, and now I think in this moment now provides him with even more justification that, okay, yeah, this is the way things have to be, and it makes sense now. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to lose Jack. I do not want to lose Jack as like that being the ending for the season, like him, or for the series even, like him being the one to give his life to actually save the universe from Chuck's destruction, the last remaining universe. I mean, because I don't know if they're gonna go like a Crisis way. I don't know if they're gonna go like a Crisis of Infinite Earths way, where he dies, but then his death is just rebirths this supernatural multiverse where there's like where the other universes either come back or it's reset in like a different way, or or maybe there's an ending. Maybe there's an ending where like they rebirth it, but they rebirth it in a way that all of a sudden supernatural is part of the Arrowverse. But I don't know. That's probably unlikely. But either way, the main kind of the main kind of event is going to be Jack doing something to to take out Chuck and Amara. And I think right now what they're going to work over. Because I think this might go down the same way the Dean and the Malik box did. Dean built that thing to keep evil Michael under wraps. So I think this might go down the same way. Like this is what they're going to kind of work towards. This is gonna be what they're going to work over. Like, because he's keeping it hidden the same way. He's keeping it hidden from Sam and Dean the same way Dean kept the box hidden from Sam and Cass. He kind of went around giving people like different farewell tours and everything, and then he went to to Donna's shed and built that there. And then he was gonna say just that was gonna be his goodbye, just giving farewells to people, and then just going underwater. So yeah, so I think with this one, with the Jack thing, this might be something that they work over, but then in the end, it might not be the one that actually comes to fruition, or it might be because I can see this one happening more because it is the series finale. It is the series finale. Like there's no sign, like there's no chance of like a new story being spawned from this. If they're ending it here, then they might actually take Jack out swinging. So that scares me even more. Like with the Dean thing, there were other seasons confirmed ahead. So so it was like it was less likely. And like even if he did go down, I think back then you kind of had that faith that Sam and Cass, they won't give up on him. They'll try and find a way to take out evil Michael and bring Dean back up to land and everything. So with that one, it's like you had a little bit more faith. But with the Jack thing, it's like this is how this is where it all ends. So like they're a lot less afraid of pulling that kind of risk. Like they're like Sam and Dean going out would be the big one, but then Jack, it's something that would still upset a lot of people, a lot of fans, but they actually might still pull that card. They might still pull that card. That might be his ending. He was brought into the world being feared for who he was, but then he goes out literally saving it. It would be a hell of a story arc. I personally think it would be a hell of a story arc, but yeah, I don't want to see him die though. I mean, it makes sense, but I still don't want to lose Jack. I don't want to lose Jack, but I don't know. Now we might lose Cass because he said, if he doesn't make it back, then so he's clearly going somewhere dangerous that is hostile and threatens his life. But yeah, I don't know, but she's apparently, but Billy is turning Jack into a bomb. She's building him up with power. I thought the power would be to smite Chuck and Amara. I thought that would be the power he built up. I didn't know she was actually turning him into a bomb. Like, all of Billy's plans involve people giving up their life and their freedom. Like, she gives Dean, she at first she gives Dean all the souls as a Reaper. She gives Dean all the souls required to blow himself up. Then she gives Dean the box to just plant him in the ocean for all of eternity, and then now she's giving Jack the ability to blow himself up in front of God himself. So all of her plans involve someone just sacrificing something major and just not showing up ever again. So yeah, she's she knows how to do a climax. So yeah, oh jeez, okay, so that's that. That is all that stuff. But yeah, so we had Cass and Jack. Cass returned. Castiel returned. He was great in this. Castiel and Jack were doing their own little case. Investigating some missing persons cases turned murders down at Patchwork, a faith-based community. So I like that aspect of the story, the way they actually explored faith, or at least like different ways to encourage and interact with faith. Like I think that they even addressed the whole kind of like the kind of taboo, or like not taboo, but like the kind of stigma you get behind you get behind the word church and the concept of church, like especially with religion and stuff. But with Patchwork, it's like the pastor, I think Pastor Joe, I think his name was, he actually emphasized the fact that this is a place where no matter who you are, where you come from, what walk of life you're from, whoever you are, like whoever you love and all that kind of stuff, whoever you are, all that matters is that I think you have, I think it's faith based, but I think they would still accept people like atheists and agnostics, maybe, because like he emphasized the fact that it was about what people do, what people choose to do. If you want to come along and help serve the community, help people, then they'll accept you. And it's like it's less about your faith in God. It's less about what Bible verses and how many days you go to church and everything. It's more about what you do in the name faith and religion, and especially why he allowed all people from all different types of religions too, and even in that little prayer circle he did, he mentioned all the other gods too, all the other religions. So he doesn't discriminate based on if you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or Buddhist or whatever you are. Just as long as you have faith, and as long as you're using that faith to actually help people and keep an open heart and an open mind, then it's all good. And I think I like those interpretations, and I like that they actually address the fact that church itself is kind of has that kind of stigma around it, where if you don't fall under certain categories that are appropriate to them, then church can discriminate to you. Church can actually kind of be a lot less open to you and who you are. So, and especially why like the guy Connor, he was like an openly gay man who wanted to still be a part of that faith. He still wanted to be a part of that community, of that part of that culture. And he didn't want to think that his sexuality kind of prevented him from doing that. And I think that's great. The community actually opening up a spot for him too. So yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. And especially I think he dated what was her name? Sylvia, the daughter, the pastor's daughter. She was the killer. She turned out to be the killer. So she kidnapped him, and she killed him. So and she was killing based on the 7 deadly sins. She was killing based on the 7 deadly sins. So I think that one guy whose body was in the apartment, the one guy, I think that was the AV guy. That had to be the AV guy. So the AV guy left, but then he must have been killed by Sylvia. Yeah, so she killed him based on lust. But we didn't really hear any stories about what his lust was. I mean, yeah, like the pastor said he was the old AV guy, but then he left to follow like a different faith or like a different religion or something. So he left Patchwork to follow something else. So I think I don't know what I don't know how that would connect to him being lust. I don't know how that would connect. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless he followed like a particularly lustful religion or faith or something else, or maybe if religion was like a cover for something, if he just left to join something else. But I don't know. He was lust, and then Connor must have been pride. Maybe he might have been pride. And I think like she gave the backstory for that. The backstory for that was that they kind of dated as kids. So I mean, when she mentioned kids, I was wondering like, okay, does that mean like you actually knew each other as kids, or you like went to high school together, like you knew each other as teenagers? Like they hung out when they were kids, and they watched like old movies together, and they had like that kind of fun time. But then I think once he came out, he then broke up with her, but then that also ended up breaking her heart. So she killed him for that, which sucks. I mean, all of these deaths suck, but yeah, so she killed him for that. And then I can't remember what her name was, but the redheaded woman, I think that one we actually saw what she was guilty of. She was stealing money out of the donations box, so hers was rather understandably greed. And yeah, and I think it was pretty ritualistic. It was pretty ritualistic too. Like she gags them and bounds them and ties them, and then her like there's like a 3-minute countdown, and each time the timer ends, she chops off a finger. So the way it was actually set up, I think, they were gagged with the rope, they were tied, and then their hands were, in that intricate little contraption with the screws and the guillotine and everything. But then the other hand, I remember for the redhead, the other hand was actually, it was like duct taped to hell and back with what looked like a really, really long screw, or like a really long kind of, knife or blade or something like something really like a really long screw, like a really long like sharp instrument to her hand. So I was wondering what that was. I think each time the countdown ended, she lost a finger. So I was wondering what the countdown was. I think thinking about it, I think it might have been, okay, so you either lose all of your fingers, or you take the thing and then just like end yourself. You either own up to your, yeah, because she gagged them, so it wasn't like a thing, like a confession thing. She gagged them, and they were unable to speak or scream or anything. So I think it would have made more sense if it was like okay, you lose a finger, but because she gave them 3 minutes, but then like it would have made more sense if she actually gave them that time to actually confess to whatever she thought their sins were, and to actually confess to having, because she was ultra religious, she was super religious, and she was like like her mother was sick, and the dad said that, like her mother refused to go to the hospital, take any medicine, anything like that. And she said, I'll just put your faith in God. God will solve all. And stuff like that. So then she died after that. So then the daughter, I think she was like a lot more super religious because of that. Like she believed more in the actual church than she did in the community, and then that's why she didn't actually get along with her father that much. So yeah, but then I think, you know, she still kind of showed, you know, like emotional distress when Jack brought up Connor at the actual counter. She still showed distress in that sense. So I wonder if, like, she still deep down she felt heartbroken for what she did, or if she was thinking more about the fact that she lost him because Connor came out. Like she felt like she lost someone. She lost her boyfriend perhaps, but then once he came out, you know, she lost that side of him. So then, yeah, I don't know, maybe. But I mean, that just sucks as a whole. That sucks as a whole. And then the other people, I think, like the redhead, she didn't deserve to die. She definitely deserved. She definitely, you know, should have been reprimanded and stuff. But she didn't really deserve to die because she was stealing stuff. Like, you know, I think Pastor Joe would have actually given her like a stern talking to, being like, you know, this money matters and it's important and it's going towards a good cause, so you can't steal that stuff. And I think it's all like a voluntary service too. It's all a voluntary service, so. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. And I think even like the guy with the lust, like, I mean, you know, I trust. I mean, if he left to follow something else, then, you know, I feel like, you know, if the group is open to people coming in from whatever background with whatever reason, then they must be open to people leaving and chasing something else. Like, you know, it's like a freedom of choice, freedom of belief type thing. But again, I think she must have just been like that kind of super duper religious person. But yeah, she did all of that stuff. So yeah, she was the killer. But yeah, but no, I genuinely liked like how they kind of portrayed this group and how they kind of made them that kind of like an open group, open to all people of all walks of life. And I think it also goes to show that, you know, I mean, assuming that Connor must have come out after having joined this community, after having joined Patchwork, then actually would have, you know, in like emphasized that even more, the fact that, you know, like the fact that they don't kick him out once he joins, because they still accept him regardless. So that kind of, you know, like makes it matter even more. So yeah, I think it's cool, like, you know, this kind of show, especially like Supernatural, like I think Supernatural has always had its own fun little way of actually exploring religion and the way it affects both hunters and angels and you know, humans alike. Like, you know, like especially in this show, like, you know, it's like the majority of the time they explore religion in a way of like the lore, like the way the stories in the Bible are written and the way different mythologies are written. Like they don't really portray it in like a very you know, textbook religious way, like, oh, this is like, in like they don't show Sam and Dean going to church because they're not those kinds of people, but they still show them interacting with different like biblical figures and different biblical storylines and all that kind of stuff, and they do it in like in like a fun, like action packed and dramatic kind of, you know, way. So yeah, and especially I think again, like in kind of reference to that, like Jack and Cass going to this kind of place, like not going to a church, but going to a faith-based community that is so open and doesn't draw any kind of faith or power directly from God, but just kind of chooses to have faith in each other and faith in, you know, that kind of thing. It's also an interesting way, like, you know, Jack's entrance. Jack's entrance, like, you know, I think I didn't expect it. I kind of had it lingering in the back of my mind when Dean mentioned having him, you know, like Dean told Cass, like, oh, try sending him in, infiltrate the group, have him drink the Kool-Aid and become one of them. And then literally the next scene in, Jack literally like goes in and say, hello, where's the Kool-Aid? Can I drink the Kool-Aid? Like that kind of thing. Like it's so Jack. It is really, really Jack. It's very, very characteristic of him to take things literally and not know what metaphors are, but so I think it's the first time you might get someone actually going into a group like that and actually asking literally for the Kool-Aid, like, oh, hi, can I join this cult, this group? Can I have some of that Kool-Aid? But yeah, Jack, I love him. That is the reason you cannot kill him. He is too precious. He is too precious for this world. I think that might actually, you know, encourage killing him. Like, he's too precious for this world. We don't deserve him. But still, no, don't kill him. That is a reason. That's one of the reasons you can't kill him. He is, you know, we need his, you know, metaphorical humor. We need that. But damn, that is definitely. I think for me, that's like a top 10 Jack moments. Like, you know, him literally walking in and asking for the Kool-Aid. Jeez, I think it's also something you might expect Cass to do, like early days Cass, not understanding how human interaction with religion works, and then them maybe sending him into maybe Sam and Dean sending him into a literal cult, or maybe like a religious group, Dean explains it to him the exact same way, like, oh, just go in, drink the proverbial Kool-Aid, get to know them, and then we'll come in and do the rest. And then Cass literally walks in and says, "Hi, hello, I'm here to drink the Kool-Aid." Like, you can literally picture early days Cass doing that. You can literally picture him doing that. So, yeah, again, like father, like son, like father, like son, and they even reference that to Cass being his his adoptive father, and being into even Jack nonchalantly mentioning that he has 3 dads. He really does. He is that kind of special kid. Some people only have 2 dads. Jack has 3. He has 3 whole dads. So, yeah, but him mentioning that, and even Cass mentioning to the pastors of he's the father, and even Cass joining into the prayer circle at the end, and even Castiel's testimony was actually really, really beautiful. It was really beautiful, and it even kind of it gave them a fairly accurate depiction of what his history and what his kind of background was like. He used to follow orders. He used to be a good angel. He used to be a good angel of the Lord, following orders. Doing exactly what angels were meant to do. But then it all literally came crashing down. The angels fell. Everything changed, and from there on out, things were very, very different. And now, after that, he found a family. He found the Winchesters, and he became a father. He had Jack and everything. So, his testimony was actually just a really easy way to kind of, just kind of, recap his story up to now. And also to show how far he's come. Also to show how far he's come from being like an angel of the Lord. Now he's a hunter. He's a Winchester. He's still somewhat an angel of the Lord, but just now he's less of an angel of the Lord, and he's just an angel. He no longer serves Chuck. He no longer serves God after finding out exactly what the truth is. So he's just an angel. He just has that kind of power. He just he's just an angel now. He's just an angel. So he's still a cool guy. He's still a cool guy. But yeah, so hearing that testimony was really, really cool, and even him kind of joining in, getting to know these people, and actually seeing what a more kind of freedom filled interpretation of faith and faith based communion would be like, was super, super cool. So yeah, that was really, really cool. Also love the codenames they picked out. Jack being Agent Lovato. Wait, no. Jack being Agent Lovato after Demi Lovato, and then Cass being Agent Swift. As a Swiftie myself, that definitely made my day. So him being Agent Swift. I mean, Agent Swift alone, it sounds like a cool codename, but it's because Sam and Dean have that habit of actually picking names from their from famous musicians, and then with Dean and Sam, I think that's the difference, and that's the difference, and it's because they're aware of the pop culture behind it. Sam and Dean, they actually pick names that might be believable, might be more authentic, and people wouldn't really ask too many questions at. But the first time casted it with Crowley, it was Agent Beyonce and Agent Z. Agent Beyonce and Agent Z, that one, because they knew, Sam and Dean go for popular musicians. Okay, I'll just pick one from this decade then. And then to go with Beyonce and Z. So that one was less believable. That one was a lot less believable. But I mean, Beyonce isn't even her last name. Sam and Dean go for last names. They go for last names, but Beyonce, her last name is Knowles. So Cass didn't even pick onto that. And then Z, I think Jay-Z, that's his artist name. That's not even his actual name. So yeah, that first one was actually one of the best ones, and then now he's actually picked up what the trick is, and now he's actually improved upon it, and now he appropriately dubs himself and his sweet son Jack as Agent Swift and Agent Lovato. So yeah, I'm surprised no one picks onto that, because I think that one is something that is people nowadays might recognize it more, it's something more recent, something that's ever growingly popular. Whereas, you know, like Sam and Dean, they're like clever enough to pick stuff with something more of like a nostalgic feel, something people might not. Again, because it's, you know, it's older musicians, older artists, not many newer people might have heard of it. People, you know, won't raise as many questions about, you know, oh really, your name is Agent so and so, like, you know, Agent, you know, Agent Cash, and I think they've probably gone with Agent Cash at one point, Agent Cash, and you know, other stuff. So yeah, Agent Bowie, Agent Bowie. Have they done Agent Bowie yet? I don't know if they've done Agent Bowie, but yeah, again, older musicians, something a bit more, something with a bit more nostalgia behind it. But either way, it was cool. Agent Swift and Agent Lovato, that still worked. It worked. And they even tried to enlist the help of a Crossroads Demon. The Crossroads Demon came by, and initially he tried the British accent, but no, I will not. I think I don't know if I'll ever be able to accept, unless they get someone I actually, you know, enjoy watching. I don't know if they'll actually, you know, be able to get like a British demon that, you know, feels the same way as Crowley does. Crowley is the original Brit, the original British demon that, you know, just knocked everyone's socks off, you know. So he is the one and only kind of actual, you know, Crossroads demon that would actually work. And, you know, he was the former King of Hell, so he had like an even bigger thing going for him. But this one, Zach, not even Zachariah, just Zach. He looks like a Zach. He looks like he could either be a Zach or maybe like a Tom. Yeah, Zach or a Tom, or even a Luke at a push. He could be a Luke, but I don't know. But he was across the team, and he showed up at the end too. He was the police officer that took Sylvia into the car. He was the police officer that he took into the car. I didn't notice him when he was walking by, but once he was in the car, I recognized his face, and then his eyes glowed red and stuff. So I don't know. I'm assuming Jack and Cass knew about that, because I think otherwise they would have raised something like raised a concern, like, oh hey, I know you're the Crossroads demon we dealt with like a day ago. So yeah, I'm assuming they knew. So yeah, but he helped, and he even said that, you know, Rowena, as the new Queen of Hell, she's making some rule changes. She is no longer doing demon deals. No more demon deals. No more soul trades. No more predestined kind of, you know, soul takings or anything like that. No more demon deals. She is now enforcing a new philosophy that people will end up where they're meant to be. So yes, I think how is hell being run now then? Because hell, literally, the economy of hell was souls. Literally, it was run by the exchange and the trading of human souls for corruption in hell. So what, like, you know, how are things being run now then? Because I think last time we saw it, I think she was doing this thing where she was introducing new people to hell and integrating them into hell's lifestyle. So yes, I don't know how things are going to, because I think that kind of thing, like, given the way that hell has been run for so long, given that souls and corruption has been the kind of forefront of hell for so long, I can only imagine that someone is going to try and overthrow her, and, like, you know, there's going to be some demon down there being like, you know, oh, this isn't the way this isn't the way we run things. We used to run things differently. We used to run things better. We want the old way back, and they're going to try and overthrow her. They won't succeed, but they'll definitely try. So yeah, I don't know how that stuff is going to go down, but yeah, I don't know. I do not know. But she's doing things differently now. So she's no longer trading souls, just doing a whole, you know, freedom of journey of life type thing. So yeah. And last but not least, Dean and Sam and Dean, visit Amara. They find Amara. Amara looks great. Her hair, you know, I've always admired her bone structure. She has a great, like, the actress herself, Emily Swallow, she has a great bone structure. She has a really great bone structure. But yeah, I think last time, I think I'm now more familiar seeing her. I think I first saw her in Supernatural back in season 11, but then I've now become more familiar seeing her in, you know, Star Wars. She's in The Mandalorian. She's the mighty Amara. So she's in that, but now coming back to this, it's great to see her back in this again. She looked great again, a nice little pink suit that really complimented her. Great hair as always. But it was great seeing her back. So she caught wind of Sam and Dean's musk, as well as the fact that Castiel had actually put out like an angelic APB, like she said, on her. So she caught wind of the fact that they were after her. So she decided to go to them instead and caught lunch and everything. So yeah, so she was hesitant. She was reluctant to actually go along with their plan and as well as to actually, you know, do what they wanted to do to Chuck, to betray Chuck, to, you know, take him out and down, take him down and out, and finish him off. So, yeah, so I mean, she didn't want to betray him because she knew what that felt like. She knew what it felt like to be betrayed, especially by family, especially by siblings. So she knew what it felt like to be tossed away and to be taken out and stuff. So she, you know, and she even emphasized the fact that, you know, that like they weren't just like two humanoid beings; they were cosmic beings. They are the reason that the universe exists. That they were brought into, they came into existence, and then them literally splitting up was the Big Bang. Them literally splitting up was the Big Bang. I love when these kinds of shows take different routes to explore exactly what the Big Bang is. Like with this one, it's Chuck and it's God and his sister splitting up, like him throwing her in the cage and locking her away is the Big Bang. On Lucifer, it's God and his wife. It's Lucifer's parents literally having sex that literally births the universe, you know. And in science, it's literally just a great big explosion that, you know, brings all sorts of atoms and particles and all sorts of whatnots into existence. And yeah, I love these different interpretations. But yeah, them two splitting up was the cause of the universe existing and all of reality existing. So yeah, but she was hesitant. She was hesitant to actually do anything to help them. She was kind of reluctant to do anything that might kind of, you know, split up her and her brother again. And I think especially the fact that it wouldn't really end well. Like, you know, even if, you know, I think she was aware. She was aware of the fact that, you know, her and her brother, her and God are the balance. They're like, you know, light and dark, end and creation and end. You know, they were two opposite ends of the spectrum, but in order for the spectrum to exist, the ends of the spectrum had to be like the spectrums of existence had to have those two ends. Like without the ends, you don't have a spectrum. You just have something that goes on forever and ever. So, you know, she was aware of that balance, and she knew that taking him out meant taking her out too. So I don't know if she actually mentioned like needing to be killed off too, but I think like the fact that she referenced the spectrum was like a kind of hint that she was aware. Okay, if you're gonna kill God, then you have to kill me too, and I definitely won't let you kill me too. So yeah, so there was that whole situation, and then Dean's final thing. Dean's final speech hit me hard. Like him actually kind of asking her why she brought back Mary. Because I think that was like a big, like way back at the end of that season, that was like such a huge finale. That was like a game changing finale. Like, you know, the show literally began. The show itself began. The premise of the show beginning was literally Sam and Dean losing their mother to Azazel, and you know, from then on they just jumped from story to story. They jumped from story arc and character arc to all these different things, and so the fact that Amara was able to bring Mary back, to bring back the person who started it all, it was a game-changing season finale. And then season 12 took on like a whole different level and a whole different tone. So the fact that he references that was definitely understandable, definitely understandable, and it definitely made sense. Like, you know, why would she bring him back? Like to like teach him what kind of lesson, to teach him what kind of philosophy would she bring her mother back? Would she bring his mother back for? And especially since, like he said, because the story, Mary's story, doesn't have a happy ending. She still ends up dying at the hands of, you know, like a member of her family. Like she still ends up dying at the hands of Jack. So, you know, surely Amara didn't bring Mary back just to watch her die again, just to let her die again. So, like, why did she actually bring him back? And I think, and she even explained that, you know, and I think she explained exactly what we've seen happen in this show. She explained what we've seen happen between Mary and Dean in the show, like that Dean, having lost his mother at such a young age, he grew up and he lived with this kind of daydream, this fantasy of having this perfect mother who shouldn't have died, who didn't deserve to die, who he wished and wished and wished as hard as he could that she could come back to life, or that she had never died to begin with. Like, you know, he lived with that fantasy of a picture perfect mother, but in reality, Mary was not a perfect person. She wasn't. She was a human being, and that means that she was as flawed as anyone else was. And we saw in season 12 with her lying to the boys about the British money letters, and even partnering up with them and being with them, and all this kind of stuff. Like, we saw that she wasn't perfect. She was like her own person. She had her own flaws, and she made her own mistakes and everything. And I think it was even shown that back in the past, like back before all of the Yellow Eye stuff, like her and John didn't have the perfect marriage or relationship either. Like even once they got married, it still wasn't like a perfect thing. Like they constantly argued. They fought. That John would sometimes walk out and not come back for nights or hours or something. So even their family life wasn't the best, but it was still a family, so that much mattered to Dean and Sam. So well, mostly Dean, because Sam was a baby, unable to process much. So like Dean lived with that fantasy. So Amara brought her back to show that she was still important to him, and because she knew she was important to him, and she wanted to bring him some sense of happiness after what he had actually done for her. But at the same time, to actually show him that you lived with this image of a pitch perfect mother, but that's not what she was. Like she needed him to understand that your mother was a person of her own accord and of her own choices and her own mistakes, and you needed to see her make those mistakes in order to get that picture in your head kind of corrected and to see her for the person she really was. Like, not that she was terrible. She was by no means a terrible person, but she just wasn't really the saint that he had built up in his head either. So I think seeing them address that, seeing them officially addressing that, was I think a really cool turning point. And seeing Jensen in that position, Jensen actually putting Dean in that position where he needed to confront that kind of story arc as well. Like him knowing that Chuck probably made Amara. I mean, it's debatable whether or not Chuck made Amara do that, because Amara is a cosmic being on the same level as Chuck, so she very likely has her own choices. Like, so that was the one. I feel like that was the one thing that happened, not because Chuck wanted it to happen, but because Amara wanted it to happen. And Amara is the complete opposite of Chuck. She wasn't trying to manipulate Dean at all. She wasn't she didn't bring him back just to take her away again. She brought him back to show him to show him the truth of who his mother really was, but also to actually give him to do something nice for him, to actually give him something he wanted. So that was the one thing he got that wasn't a part of some story or some kind of predestined arc that Chuck had created, but something he actually wanted back, and the one thing he wanted in life that he actually got back. So yeah, but then actually, her dying may well have been like a Chuck thing. Her dying, her being taken away may well have been like a Chuck thing, but yeah, so them addressing that was actually really, really cool to see. And again, Jensen he's a terrific actor. He really knows how to put Dean through his paces and to put Dean in really emotional spots and to actually make him really emphasize and express his feelings really well. Like him saying, like, he's not angry about anything, he's furious because he's been manipulated and tortured his entire life by this cosmic being like Amara, who thinks that he's in control of everything and that he can decide what goes on in people's lives. So he's understandably furious about all of this. So he wanted to know if that was the same reason that Amara brought Mary back too, but it wasn't. She actually wanted to do something nice for him, as well as actually give him like a teachable moment that people are not always what you picture them to be. Sometimes they're just like you. They're human. They make shitty decisions and then they pay the price for it, or at least the people around them pay the price for it. So yeah, that was a really cool scene. But yeah, we ended that one with Amara saying that she would think about it, because I think Dean swore to her that he would never hurt her. He swore that he would never hurt her, but it's true, he would never hurt her, but Jack is the one who has to actually do the hurting and the smiting and the balancing and everything, so he's not technically lying, he's just, hiding that fact away from her. So yeah, so then Amara said she would think about it, so now we have Amara potentially in the same boat as them, ready to actually help save the universe from her brother's chaos and destruction. But yeah, all in all, a fun episode, a very, very fun return to the drama and thrill of what Supernatural is known to be. So yeah, fun stuff, very, very fun stuff. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this episode. So let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what your thoughts are and what you think, where you think we're headed down this way. What you think about Jack being a bomb made by Billy, a Billy bomb. What you think about him being a Billy bomb, and what you think about Cas, like where you think Cas might be going to get different answers and to get newer answers, and what you think about Amara and Dean, all the good stuff that happened in this episode. Let me know what you thought, what your thoughts are. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got. So that was Supernatural, Season 15, Episode 15. titled Gimme Shelter. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Supernatural. Once again, the full-length reaction will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.